All right, moving on to our next submitter, Stu Bryce from Surf Life Saving New Zealand. Stu, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the table. And you've got 5 minutes to present to us this morning.
Thank you very much for your time today. And thank you very much for the historical support that the council's given Surf Life Saving across the Christchurch city area. On a day like today, we're probably not thinking about going to the beach, but there were people in the water today at Scarborough. The sun of the dippers seem to get out there. It's 14 degrees, but probably warmer than being on the beach. We've submitted, and hopefully you've read it, is to support the Regional Guard program, which is the weekday state school primary program, which runs Monday to Friday throughout the school holidays. This program's been running for 30 plus years. With the support of the council. In its original days, it started with a sole operator at each beach, and now it's down to teams of people making sure the beaches are safe across the area. Last month, through Christchurch, 7 clubs delivered over 16,000 patrol hours, and off that they saved 80 people, with a possible impact of up to $320 million based on the statistical cost of a life. Should be a presentation just pop above you. So that's some of our stats from last year. The 7 clubs in Christchurch, we saved 83 lives and assisted 152 people. Without those, the assists may return to shore. There's a debate on how many people else will get to shore. Off that, 26 people were saved in 20 minutes at Sumner on one day, so it was a pretty big day. 33 researchers, 163 first aids provided. And that's our piece to the resistance, is 0 drownings between the flags. The other beaches we have currently, we supplied service to through from mid-November through to mid-March, a weekend service which is delivered by the volunteers through those times, and a weekday service which is delivered with the support of the council. What we want to add is we want to add Scarborough. The development of Scarborough over the last 5 to 10 years post-earthquake, with the development at the clock tower, the beaches which look over the water, and with the completion, and hopefully soon will be the completion of the coastal pathway. That will be the head of it. The problem we have is exactly the same as what the council has got when it rains. The beach has egressed, and we have beach from Hardwick Street. A number of years ago, through the top tidal range, it was wet. So people didn't sit there. Now it's a great beach to go to. That's a standard day down at Scarborough, which we're wanting to put a service on. At the moment, there is no service there. There's a service around the corner at Sumner, which is a busy service, like I mentioned before. So we're submitting to increase the grant we get to $397,000 to provide a 7-day-a-week service at Scarborough, and the service we currently have across the board as well. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. Any questions? Sarah?
Thanks so much for that, Stu. Just checking, this is the same way that the Surf Life Saving set up around the country, isn't it? With sort of government support for the national organisation, and then council supporting the sort of school holiday, actual paid stuff.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. James?
Kia ora, Stu. Thank you for thanking us.
That's right.
Firstly, has any thinking gone into the fact that, as you mentioned, there are 7 surf life-saving clubs along the foreshore there, of consolidating them? I know that there are some with new club rooms and that, but has that ever been considered?
Yeah, it was debated post-earthquake when we weren't sure of the stability of a lot of those clubs. Right. And the culture in those smaller communities. Yes, yeah. I understand there's 4 within a stretch quite close together, but the cultures are quite different. Yep. The communities are quite different. The biggest issue, or one of the issues we have South Brighton, we don't know the numbers because for a number of years the road was directly out of South Brighton, and the last 3 years they've been building the club. So once that gets going again, the car park's reinstated, we don't know how many people will be attending there. They all hold a need, and the council supported some of those facilities, New Brighton and South. So there's all components there. North New Brighton has a significant playground, which affects us. The rollover from children from the skate park across the road to the beach is huge. So they all hold their own little niche. There's an American model, an Australian model, but they don't hold the culture, etc., the pathway.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Anne, and then Sarah, if there's time. Anne.
Thank you. Just wondering, thanks, Stu. Just wondering how does it work with government funding and local funding? How does that work?
Government funding came in for the first time last year, to be honest, thanks to COVID. and with the decrease in gaming turnover affected us dramatically. We've been pushing that for a number of years. The government funding at the moment for the Christchurch clubs is funding about 83% of the directly related life-saving cost. The project, the grant we're asking for covers about 7% of those costs for the clubs, and the clubs will cover 10% of the direct life-saving costs. That's not covering the cost of any sport programs or any other development programs they have or junior programs.
All right, thank you very much. That does bring us to the end of the time, but thank you very much indeed for coming along and talking to us today, and thank you for the work that you're doing. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So our next